Hello and welcome to the video for Thursday, October 1st. This is Advanced Web Design. Hello.
Hello.
How you guys doing today?
Hey, Greg.
Good. Anybody have uh, anything interesting happen to them this week?
Not really.
Okay. Well, then we have that in common, Dylan.
I watched the debate, but nothing to me really.
Oh, yeah. The debate. Somebody called the debate a dumpster fire inside a car crash inside a train wreck.
Yeah, I heard that, and then another comment in the same show.
Trevor got his guitar back from the shop. What kind of guitar is it, Trevor? PRS. Oh, okay. So electric guitar? Oh, cool. How's it sound? The Mark Holcomb model. I love it. Cool. That's nice. PRS guitars, I think, are pretty nice. I've never played one. I've got a Stratocaster, but um, they're nice guitars. Okay, well, give me a second here. Let me go ahead and put you guys in the attendance, and then we can get started. Go down here. Okay. All right, and then go back here, go to the class website, which is here. Okay, and then web design and advanced web design. Okay, here we are. Okay, so I can't recall, Ariana, have you listed today as giving a presentation? I can't remember if you gave your presentation already or not.
I gave it last week.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Um, okay, great. So, but you have to give it again. I'm just kidding. No. So we may not have a presentation today. I don't know if Heather got one together, and she's of course not here yet. So if she does show up and she has one, we'll see it. If not, no problem. But I did have a question I wanted to ask you guys, which is, we can focus on many different aspects of web design this semester. And I wanted to ask you guys what you were the most interested in. Different things that we can look at. We can look at building entire e-commerce sites and all the aspects of that. We can look at, we can focus a lot on using WordPress. We can focus on learning CSS and HTML to enhance WordPress. Um, are there some things that you guys really want to get out of this semester?
I definitely want to learn more about WordPress and just all it can offer and all of its functions and stuff, because I know that's probably going to be what we're going to use when we go out into the real world, quote unquote. But
Okay, so in other words, you want to be well versed in all the aspects of WordPress so that if you get asked to make a WordPress website, you know what to do, kind of thing.
right.
Okay,
Maybe a little bit of both,
a little bit of both that and what else? Code?
like coding and WordPress, so then I could like Trevor was saying,
Okay.
so
And
then you put more into it.
Trevor saying learning CSS and HTML to improve WordPress would be great too. Grady wants to explore SEO more. And Daniel said one or I. I'm not sure what that
I
means.
accidentally hit enter
Oh,
instead of the apostrophe. I was going to type I'd like to right
oh,
there. But anyhow, I think I kind of like to see, like, not like too in depth, but like, kind of a sort of a summary, giving the complete picture of how, like, the server, database, or website, how they all interact, basically. Just, kind of a better understanding of what's going on, actually,
okay,
how it's working under the hood.
okay. Um, all right. So let me take a screenshot of all this, and I'll keep in mind what you said as well, Daniel. Okay, well, we can cover all that stuff, and then, as we're progressing throughout the semester, if you want to learn a little bit more about something, you can bring that up. Like if we're working on CSS and you have a question like, hey, how do you use CSS to change colors on a website? You can ask that question. I can help you with that. Okay, so um, referring to Daniel's question here, it's one of the first things that pops in my mind. He was asking how the whole rigmarole works and everything. And I can sort of sketch that out for you guys. Let me see if I can. I'm going to bring up a blank document and then share my screen with you. I don't think am I sharing my screen with you right now? No, not yet. Okay. Um, all right. Let me get a document here. All right, and then I'm just going to kind of sketch with this. Okay, do that. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen. Share. Okay, so um, so most people who make websites, let the hosting companies do all that stuff for them. But you can actually make your own website and put it on your own server and have it work for you. And if you do that, that's referred to sometimes as having a LAMP stack on your computer. Um, Now, I'll talk about both ways that this can happen. One is you do it yourself, and the other is the company does it for you. So the LAMP stack is a bunch of free software that you can get to run your own website, right? So the LAMP stack is Linux operating system, Apache web server. Sorry, I'm going to have to get my text in order here. Let's see. Let's do auto. And let's do this. Okay. So the Linux operating system, the Apache web server. What is the M? I forget.
That's MySQL is one of the things
Thank
that's
you.
used, right?
Thank you. MySQL database and PHP coding language. Okay, so LAMP stack, you would get these 4 pieces of free software. You would put them on your server. Linux would be the operating system. Apache is software which actually runs something called a web server. MySQL would be the database, and PHP would be the code system that you would use. For example, WordPress uses PHP. So you could use that PHP and WordPress to interact with the MySQL database. So in other words, if you had these 4 pieces of free software plus this piece of free software, you could run a website off of your server. Now, they also have flavors of this for the Mac and for the PC. It's called a MAMP stack if it's Macintosh, and a WAMP stack if it's for Windows. And people who are really into coding and have enough money to have a really good server and have a really fast internet connection, and like to go in and install security patches and keep their server updated, are entirely capable of doing this. But most of us are not in that boat. Most of us, don't have this stuff going on. So this is what happens if you kind of do it yourself thing, right? Now, what I'm going to do is do the sort of same thing, but the way that most of us do it, right? So what most of us need is, hold on, let me go back here. Back, okay. So most of us need web hosting. We need a domain name. And we need a CMS, which in this case is WordPress. What is CMS? Do you guys know?
Content management systems?
Yes, exactly. Okay. All right. So this is we'll call this is pay for it, and this one up here is do it yourself. Okay. So let's say that you want to start a website, right? So the first thing I always recommend people to do is think about domain name that is available. And there's a lot fewer of those than you might think because websites have been around for like 20 years and or more, and a lot of the domain names have been taken, right? So what you can do is you can go to something like GoDaddy.com. You can go to your favorite, what's called domain name registrar. It's the place where you register your domain names, and you can do a search for your domain name, right? So, let's say, let's say David's Pots or something like that. Let's say there's a guy named David, and he wants to sell pottery. So we search for that domain. And we got really lucky. David's Pots is available, right? But most, and it says it's only $1 a month, so $12 a year for the first year, and then it goes up to like 17 or something like that. This could also be David's Spots, by the way. Okay, but let's try something that's a little harder to get a hold of. So let's say that let's say you want to start your own web design company, and you want to call it. Let me think for a second. Trend design or something like that, or trendy design, right? That's going to be taken because it's too. Oh my God, that one's available too. Here's the funny thing: like whenever I type any domain name into this search engine here, it's always taken. So
You're getting lucky this time.
oh, actually, you know what? This one is taken. It's only the CO that's available. Do you see that?
Oh, .co.
See, it says down here, they're trying to trick you, actually. They're trying to get you to pay for this. Notice it's .co, not .com, right?
Does that even work?
Yeah, it works, but it's not worth it.
Yeah.
I highly recommend against buying anything other than the .com, all right?
Okay.
Like all these .nets, like if we go down here, look at all the possibilities. Trendy.design, Trendy Design Store, trendydesign.net, right? .org, right? I recommend against getting those because frankly, if you tell somebody your business name, they're automatically going to put a .com at the end of it when they try to look for you. So it doesn't make any sense to get .co or something, right?
Anything
Uh,
but, yeah.
so I'll try and find something close to this that's available, but the odds are, yeah, this is what I was expecting. So most names are already taken, so you have to be very clever when you come up with names. I remember, and I may have told you guys this story before, like in beginning or something, but I remember my girlfriend at the time and I were trying to come up with a name for a clothing store she wanted to start up and have an online aspect to, and she wanted to call it Milagros. And you guys know what Milagros are?
No.
Yeah,
So
miracles in Spanish.
yeah, yeah. So what they
Oh,
are, but Milagros themselves are these little charms that there's charms of like little goddesses and swords, and they're like little charms that you can wear that you can buy. And so she wanted to name her store Milagros, right? So of course, Milagros.com was taken. Well, we sat, and this is what you do: you sit in front of the GoDaddy website, and you type in idea after idea after idea until one becomes available, right? And we spent hours looking for anything that was available that had the word Milagros attached to it. And we eventually came up with Milagros Boutique. And that was available at the time. You can see by now that it's been taken. But we did get that domain, the .com, and then we built the website after we got the domain. So I mean, this is just my advice to you. You know, don't build a whole business thinking you're going to name it Ariana's Design and then find out that isn't available. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, so number one, I would say find your domain name, right? Okay, so let's say you have successfully found a domain name, like what was that first one? David's Pots, right? David's Pots. Okay, so that's what we're going to get, right? Now what you do is you pick the domain name registrar you want to use. GoDaddy is the most popular. You don't have to use them. I've used GoDaddy for most of mine, but there's also one called namecheap.com, which, as the name applies, or as their name implies, is cheaper than some of the other domain names. And they all serve roughly the same purpose. They basically register your domain name and point it to your website. So you can use, like, okay, so we saw that GoDaddy was going to charge you $12 for the first year, and then it was going to go up. So let's put David's Pots in here. And they say it's available, and they're only going to charge you $8.88 for the first year. But of course, they're both sales to just kind of get you in the door, and then it's going to double here. It's going to be like, you know, 15 or 17 here as well. But you might save a few bucks the first year. Okay, so what you do is you decide on your domain name. You decide where you're going to get it. You know, Namecheap, GoDaddy, wherever you want to buy it. All web hosting companies will also register domain names for you as well. So if you find a web hosting company you like to use, you can get your domain there as well. Now, there are some advantages to getting your domain name at your web hosting company. For one thing, you're only paying one person instead of paying, you know, like SiteGround for your web hosting and GoDaddy for your domain. Also, if you get your domain name at your web hosting company, they'll automatically direct it to your website. So boom, you know, it's all good in one fell swoop. Now, if you don't, if you buy your domain name at a domain names registrar like this, you have to go in and you have to manually point your domain name to your web server, right? To your web hosting company, all right? So, you know, once again, GoDaddy has web hosting services too. So if you bought your domain name with GoDaddy and your hosting, they would tie it all up in a bow and point it to you. Now, let me show you how it works. I have accounts both at Namecheap and GoDaddy. So let me show you an example of a domain name that I got, right? Like here's a game that I'm working on. It's called Sneaky 7. And what happened was I searched around. This is another example of searching for a domain. I actually wanted to call it Sneaky Monkeys, right? Was the name that I wanted to name this game. But of course, Sneaky Monkeys was bought years ago. And I tried every combination I could. I tried Sneaky Monkey. I tried spelling sneaky with 2 E's. Nothing worked. So finally, I had to go another route. And there's 7 monkeys in this game, so I called it Sneaky 7. So anyway, I bought it on Namecheap, you know, for the $8.88. And then what I had to do was, you know, I had to make a free account with them. After I bought it, I had to go into Manage. And I had to come down here and I had to do something called Add Name Server. Now, the name server is the name of the hosting company that's actually hosting your website, right? So, you know, as some of you know, or most of you probably know, my website's on a web hosting company called SiteGround. And so, you know, I bought the domain over here, Sneaky7, but I wanted to point it to SiteGround. So I had to go in here to manage the domain. I had to find this place where the name servers are, and I had to put in 2 pieces of information. I had to put in the primary name server for the web hosting company, and I had to put in a secondary name server. And I'll blow this up so you guys can see it better. The name servers always come in this format. They always start NS1, and then they have, you know, the name of the business, and then the second one always starts out with NS2. And like I said, it's a fail-safe. One of them is the first web hosting server that you'll go to, and if that one's down, it'll go to a secondary one, right? Now, the question about what to put in here depends on who your web hosting company is. No matter who your web hosting company is, if it's GoDaddy or SiteGround or whoever, they will give you this information in the first email they send you. Welcome to SiteGround. If you bought your domain name at another domain name registrar, here is the DNS information, domain name server, right? That you will need to point it to your website, right? Or if they don't send it to you in the welcome email, you can simply go into your web hosting account. It'll say it there. You can contact their IT department. You can even look it up online on their website, and it'll give you that information. So once again, you just type in the domain name, what's called the domain name server, the primary one and the second one, and then you just you hit update. In this case, with this company, what happens is if you make a change, let me make a change. Let's see. Then you just hit this little check mark here, and it saves it. Right now, in my case, I got to make sure that it's correct, so I don't mess anything up. So I'll put the 2 back in there and hit this. Now let me open the chat because I saw. Let's see. Okay, Sean's coming in. Okay, and then I saw there's a couple people in the chat. So it says, laugh out loud.net is double the price. No. Okay. All right. Yeah, .net. Yeah, who needs that, right? Okay, so anyway, first you get your domain name. Second, you log into your domain name registrar account, and you point that domain name to your web hosting company via what's called the domain name server, or DNS, right? And of course you get that information from your web host. So what does that mean? Well, it means that you need to get your web hosting and your domain name at about the same time, or potentially one right after the other, because you can buy a domain name and then go buy web hosting. When you buy your web hosting, you can get the DNS information, then you can go back to your domain name registrar and put that information in, because now you have a website, and now it will point to it. Now it's going to take you anywhere from 4 to 48 hours for this information that you plug in to update on all the servers throughout the entire world. Usually it's more like 4 hours, but it's potentially in Europe, because the servers all have to update all over the world. It could take a day or two, right? Okay, so we talked about the domain name, where you get that, how much it costs. We talked about creating an account and going in, changing your DNS information to point it to your web host. Now let's talk about the web host. And by the way, if you guys have questions, just feel free to ask them. Web hosting is all across the board. You can find web hosting for probably $9 a month, anywhere from $9 a month to $90 a month, depending on the extras that you want. I was with HostMonster for many, many years, and what always happens to me, I did web design for like 20 years, and then sort of sashayed, transferred over into teaching, and really, scaled back a lot of my web design. But in those 20 years that I was teaching or doing web design, all of the web hosting companies that I got on initially got bought by bigger web hosting companies. And when they got bought, they started sucking, because what happened was they would get bought. The company would say, we have to make this profitable, so they would fire a bunch of people, and then when you called in to get technical support, there was nobody there, or you had a real long wait time, and then they would raise the price of everything. I remember, I think it was HostMonster, when HostMonster got bought by Bluehost, they tripled the price of everything, and they also reduced the support. I mean, it's like, oh my God, right? So that was what really eventually pushed me off of them. Now, when I went looking for a new web host, I thought about what was most important to me, right? Price, the amount of space that they give you in your server, so that you could build a bunch of websites, support, all things of this nature. Well, because the support had been so sucky at HostMonster after they got bought, support was my number one thing. I figured, well, all things being equal, if the prices are pretty much the same, if they're giving me about the same amount of server space, what I really want is somebody who's going to pick up the phone and answer my questions. So I did a search online, and I typed in what web company has the best support, and the same answer kept coming up over and over again. It said SiteGround, this company I'd never heard of, a company whose logo is really bad, right? Um, let's see. I know that I know that this is being
Yeah.
yeah, I know that this is being petty, but I didn't want to join a company that has a bad logo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I get it.
You have to look at it every day almost.
Yeah, I get it. A lot of people, sometimes people who are really good at programming, are forced to make their own logo, and so it doesn't look that good. And I don't know if that was the case here or if they actually paid somebody a lot of money for it, but I don't even know what this crazy thing is, right? This little design in front of SiteGround, and then there's this horrible font. Like I was like, oh my God, I don't want to be on this site because the logo is so bad, right? But like I said, every all the research I did always said SiteGround was number one in support because that's what SiteGround marketed themselves as, is like we're gonna spend as much time as you need to solve your problem. So I joined them, and sure enough, it was true. The average call time for me with SiteGround is 40 minutes. They will literally be on the phone with me for 40 minutes answering my questions. Sometimes when I was with Host Monster, I would wait 15 to 20 minutes to get somebody to answer the freaking phone. So anyway, okay, so get whoever you want. You don't have to get SiteGround. You can get whoever you want. Different hosting plans, different costs. If we just look at these guys, just for an example, you have to be careful because this is a bit of a scam. They tell you that it's $6.99 a month, but that's just for the first year. The second year, it goes up to $14.99 a month, which is more than double the price, right? And you have to pay the whole year in advance. So 7 times, what's that, $84? So, $84 is a chunk of change, right? But, it's a good deal for the first year, but then it goes up to twice that. So what's that, 168 or something like that? That's costing a lot. And look at this. For all that money, you only get one website, right? Um, you know, uh, but if you go up to the $9.99 a month plan, which of course becomes $24.99, which is more than twice, like 2.5 times that, then you get unlimited websites. So, if you guys don't care that much about the support thing, you can find better hosting companies or better deals, right? So, best web
Right.
hosting
Right.
to
Am I reading that right? Does it say free email? Like as in like a domain email?
yeah, all companies offer that.
Well, I thought I had to. I thought with GoDaddy I'd have to get it separately and go with G Suite. No.
Well, I'm not familiar with GoDaddy's plans,
Because I'm
but
actually right now in the process of taking the code for a website to set it up on a hosting site. So
okay.
that's
Well,
currently what
yeah,
I'm doing.
you'd have to talk to GoDaddy's sales department. In my experience, every single website hosting I've ever bought comes with domain name, email as part of the plan.
Okay,
Um,
I'll look into that.
okay, so if we go to like the 10 best, let's see, okay, the 9 best web hosting providers of 2020. Uh, let's just see if we see some. Okay, so yeah, look, this is a great example actually. Um, Not only do these list the top 9, but they say what they're best at, which is great. Notice right here, best customer service, right? But here's one that's best web hosting for beginners. So, if they have like affordable plans and good support, it might be Bluehost. Uh, HostMonster isn't even on here, but Bluehost owns HostMonster. So, there's some that are the cheapest, some that are are best for beginners. One that's eco-friendly, right? One that's fast and reliable. So do your research. Find a company that find what's important to you. If it's price, if it's reliability, if it's support, and do your research. Find 2 or 3 companies that you really like. You know what I ended up doing? I actually, it was a tie between SiteGround and WP Engine. And WP Engine is famous for hosting WordPress sites. And I was like, oh, all my sites are WordPress, but WP Engine's expensive. And, but they do a great job with WordPress sites. So it came down to these two. And what I actually did was I called both companies. And I called SiteGround, and there was a woman who answered. She was really nice. And she answered all my questions. And I said, hey, listen, last question. I'm choosing between you and WP Engine. Why should I go with you guys? And she said, call WP Engine and see if you can get somebody on the phone, right? I did, and I didn't get anybody, right? So I was like, okay, So, yeah.
So she already knew, huh?
What's that?
I said she already knew.
Yeah, she already knew, right? That was like her final sales pitch, right? Anyway, and my plan was this: if I ever become rich and I want my WordPress sites to be on the Cadillac of WordPress hosting, which is WP Engine, I'll go over there and I'll pay more money for their better service, right? But for right now, I'm on SiteGround. Okay, so you get your web hosting, you pay your money, and you get your DNS information, and you give that to the domain name registrar. Now the domain name is pointed to you, or like I said, even potentially even better, just get it all in the same place. There's no reason, unless you're really trying to save money. It's probably a few bucks cheaper to buy your domain name over at Namecheap than it is to buy it with a web hosting company. But it's so easy when you buy it with them. They just connect it to your website. You don't have to deal with that whole DNS information. If you want your life to be easy, buy your domain name with these guys, right? Okay, so I'm going to log in so we can look at the account. I guess it's this one. I hope it works. Sometimes it doesn't work. I mean, of course, it always works, right? Okay, so once you buy your account, like I said, if you buy your domain name with these people, they will automatically point it to your account, and you won't have to worry about it. If you buy an account with the ability to do multiple websites, then all you have to do is create new folders, new directories, and put a new installation of WordPress in each one, and you can operate multiple websites, including sites for you and sites for your clients, right? Of course, every time you make a new website inside a folder, you have to buy a new domain name and point it specifically to that folder, right? So, once you go into SiteGround's control panel, you can click on websites. And by the way, their control panel is not unique to them. Most control panels use the same software, which is this software here called cPanel. And almost all websites that you log into will eventually look just like this. They'll have different background colors and different icons, but it'll be the same thing, right? Now, once you log in here, it'll give you information about your site. You can see right here that I am using a ton of space on my site. Somewhere in here, yeah, right here, see it says server host name. So this is the DNS information. You can grab that yourself and then just put a 2 on the end of it, NS2. Or you grab this and you put NS1 in front of it and then NS2 in front of it, and you've got your DNS information, right? Now, let's say that you buy your web hosting account and now you want to install WordPress. Let's say for the sake of argument, you bought your domain name with these folks so that, it's just pointing right to you. All you have to do is click on the WordPress installer. It's what they call one-click install. And then you say, okay, I want to install WordPress. So let's see, you click install now. You're going to have a main domain name, which is what you bought, right, for your account. But then you can put your website either inside that main directory. In that case, you don't put anything in this field here. It'll just be dreamco.com. There'll be one folder and all your WordPress files are made in that. Or if you, for some reason, want to put it in a separate directory, like maybe you want to have multiple websites, then you just have to give the name, the directory name. So I'm going to call this testing, right? I'm going to make a directory called testing. Now, they're going to ask you, what do you want to call your blog? You leave all that stuff blank. What do you want the username to be? What do you want your password to be? I'm going to hide this. I'm going to try to hide it. Let's see. Hide. Let's see if it'll hide it. It's not going to hide it. Okay, well, that stuff doesn't work. Okay, so I'm going to call this testing 1, 2, 3, spit on my knee. Okay. Sorry about that, just weirdness. I'll highlight this so that I can copy it and put it in easily. You put in your email address, and then you come down here and you say what plugins you want to start your WordPress with. I always like the classic editor because I don't like their blocks editor that they added to later versions of WordPress. I don't need the WordPress starter because I've done WordPress for a while. And this limited login attempts is really good to get. It limits login attempts to 3, which means that brute force attacks on your website won't work usually, because what they do is they keep trying to get in until they get the correct password. But this will stop them at 3. Now, I used to do this. I don't do it anymore because sometimes I forget my password and it takes me more than 3 tries to get in it, and then it'll lock me out for a certain amount of hours, and I'm like, I'm not into that, right? So anyway, but you guys might be interested in that. You click install. It'll just take a few, usually under a minute or so to, well, they say 3 or 4 minutes, but it's usually seconds. It's usually under a minute, unless they're really busy. But you can see that was like 30, 45 seconds to install the website. So then they'll go ahead and they'll give you both the URL to get to the front end of the website and the URL to get to the back end or the login, right? So you click here and it's going to be a WordPress installation with the latest version of WordPress's theme. You put in WP admin after that, and you can log into the site. So I'm going to put in my username and my crazy password that I copied. Okay, and now of course it will log you into your dashboard, and now you can do all the stuff you guys are used to doing, change your theme, so on and so forth, right? So this is how you do it. Now, if you're going to be a web designer that's going to create websites for other people, you could create new directories each time you make a new website and install WordPress in that directory. You can buy new domain names either with the domain name registers like GoDaddy or Namecheap, or you can buy them with your hosting account like SiteGround. And then what happens is, you can talk to the tech people and they'll tell you how to point it to a specific folder, or they'll have an article in their knowledge base that tells you how to do it, right? And then, you're good to go. Now, I had a discussion with somebody last night, a former student who's doing a website now for a client, and she said, what should I do? Should I put all my clients' websites in one big directory, or should I buy a new account for each one? And I suggested she buy a new account for each one because that way, if the client decides that they want to leave you and go work with another designer, it's like, here, just take the keys and go. It's their account. They paid you for it. They paid to set up the web hosting. By the way, you charge them for the domain name and the web hosting and all that stuff in addition to your time setting up the website. And then they can just go their merry way. Now, it's problematic when you have them inside a directory inside your big account, because then if they want to move with somebody else, you got to move their whole website. And of course, it's never an exact process moving a website. It's like moving from one state to another. Things always get left behind and lost and broken. So you want to avoid that wherever possible. So since they're going to pay for it anyway, why not just buy a new web hosting account and put everything in it that they need, and then they're free to do whatever they want to do. One other possibility I didn't mention is it's possible that the client that you're working with turns out to be a bad client, and that you might have to do something called firing your client, which is that you tell them you're going to stop working with them because you don't like the way that they're treating you, or they're not paying their bills or whatever. And of course, it's a lot easier to get rid of them if they've got their own account, and you're just like, hey, I'm gone. There's your account. Do whatever you want with it, right? Okay. Let's see. What was the other thing I was going to show you? Oh yeah. I mentioned that if let's say that we had a domain name. Let's say we bought that David's Pots, and we bought a SiteGround account, right? And we took David's Pots, we bought it at Namecheap, we put in the SiteGround DNS, ns1.m61.siteground.biz or whatever it was, ns2. And now we just made a WordPress site for David's Pots. So the next thing we would want to do is point the domain name. The domain name is now at Namecheap. And so when somebody types in David's Pots, Namecheap is gonna go, oh, I've got that. And then it's gonna look at the DNS information. It's gonna say, oh, that's over on SiteGround. So it's gonna point it to SiteGround, right? Well, SiteGround is gonna go, well, we don't know where David's Pots is, right? So what you have to do is you have to in your directory here, you have to point that domain name once it hits SiteGround servers to your specific directory. And you do that here in the control panel. Just give it a second to load up. Okay, so what you do is you do this thing called add-on domains, right? You click on this and you say, guess what? There's this domain name called davidspots.com, right? And I want it to be part of my account on SiteGround, right? I've already pointed it from Namecheap over to SiteGround. And so what you do is you fill this little form out and you hit submit. And SiteGround will check to make sure that it's pointed here from the domain name server. And if it is, it'll give you a green light and you'll hit add domain, and suddenly David's Pots will be aligned with your account, which means when somebody types it in, it'll first go to Namecheap, and within milliseconds it'll go to SiteGround, and within milliseconds it'll go to your account on SiteGround because it knows the path, right? Now it's not going to let me do it because there's not actually a David's Pots that's been bought. It hasn't actually been pointed to SiteGround, and the software is smart enough to know that that's not there, so it's not going to do it. But if it did, I would just hit this add domain, right? Now that's one part of the process. I added the domain to my account. Now that means that when somebody types in David's Pots, they'll come to my main account, but in my case, my main account is dreamco.com, so that's not going to help them, right? So there's two things I need to do. First, I need to add it to my account, and then I need to do something called a redirect. So see right here, it says redirects, right? So what you would do is you would say, see, all these are all my domains, right? So let's say in the last screen, we added David's Pots to our account, right? But let's say that I'm sending David's Pots to that testing directory that I just put a WordPress site in. Now what I would do is I would say, I'll just type it in here just for grins, right? I would say, davidspots.com will redirect to, dreamco.com/testing, So in other words, when somebody types that domain name, because I filled out the other screen to add it to my SiteGround account, it'll automatically come to dreamco.com because that's my main SiteGround account. But then when I put in the redirect, it'll instantly be redirected to the specific folder in my account where that is. Now the user will never see this. They'll type in David's Pots and the site will come up, and I'll be the only one that knows the myriad path that it took to get here, right? Okay, questions?
Thanks for that.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, whew. Let's see. So let's go back to the class website. All right, so have any of you guys worked on your websites a little bit and have something that we can see, we can give you some feedback on?
I've only added some items to the store, but I haven't done much else.
Okay. Yeah, and I still have to get back to getting rid of that one line. It's like my life's purpose is getting rid of that line on your homepage. I did think of a way I can do it, which is sort of do an end run around it, which is actually look at the code for the homepage and figure out what section that's in and basically just kill that section, It's a lot of work to get rid of a line, but now it's become my goal in life. Okay.
If it gets like too much, I'm trying to look for like backup themes just in case
Uh-huh.
can't figure out how to get rid of them. So I've been looking at other themes in the
Yeah.
event that we pull our hair out trying to figure it out.
It's good to have a backup plan, because sometimes you get a theme and you're like, this theme is 80% of everything I want. And then you start working with it, and there's like one major thing that you want to do that won't do, and everything you try doesn't work. And then you find a similar theme that does almost as much, and it makes it easy to do that one thing that you were missing. So you just switch. It takes 1 second to download a new theme and click, install and activate, and then you just have to make a few switches. So don't feel like just because you've downloaded a theme and you've put a little time into it, you're stuck with it. If you hit a brick wall, change themes. Okay. So let's see. Trevor did some minor stuff. So Ariana, we'll take a look at your site just for grins, and some of your products that you put in. Let's see. I think you're what, pimaccweb.com, Ariana, or something.
Mm-hmm. The only thing I haven't done is resize the images for the items. I still have to do that, but I wanted to at least start adding items to like familiarize myself with the process of adding products. So
Okay, well that's good, and I can talk to you about. I have it in my notes to talk to you about the size of pictures and stuff like that. Um, okay, so like for example, oh, these are cute, really nice collars and a cat bowl and stuff like that. Okay, and then when we click on one, of course, we go to what's called the detail page. It brings in related products and so on and so forth, right? Now, you mentioned that you hadn't really set the big size of products yet or whatever. And we can tell that's the case because when we click on this, we get the mini one, right? Now, the trick for these is that you want to upload the big picture when you put in a product, because the software will make the thumbnail. Okay, so what I have here in my notes is sizes to use for images. I use a width of about 1200 pixels for an image, right? So let's go to Unsplash, and let's type in something like cat collar. I don't know if they'll have a cat collar. Oh wow, they have cats with collars. Okay, boy, these cats are cute. Okay, maybe cat bowl or food bowl or something like that. It looks like I'm not going to get any luck on this site. I'm not going to get just a bowl. I'm just going to get the cats. All right, let's try another site. Let's try Pexels. I'm trying to get a specific image that will look like a product. Here, let's just type, how about bowl? We'll get lucky if we type bowl, and we can use it as a cat bowl. Well, theoretically. God, what is it with these? Give me an empty bowl, please. Okay, well, let's not waste any more time. Let's just grab this thing, which clearly isn't a cat bowl, right? Okay, so, okay, copy image, go in here, paste it in. Okay, so this is just the place that I've arrived at. I'll use the width of 1200 on my images by whatever size that makes in the height. In a case like this, clearly you don't need all this extra stuff. You can make all your images uniform, so you could get a specific height that works for everything. I don't like this little brown thing being up there, so I gotta crop it out. Okay, so this is like a handmade cat bowl from Argentina. All right, So it's 1200 pixels wide. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to export this. Quick export as ping is my favorite because it literally is very quick. It makes a ping file, and ping files are one of the best files to use for web imagery, right? So I'll call this Argentine cat bowl.ping. Okay. All right, so now we go back to Ariana's site. Do you mind if I add a new product here, Ariana?
Oh, that's fine.
Okay. So I'm going to go to her dashboard here. Go to products and go to all products. And I never like to create new products from scratch. I always like to duplicate existing products because it saves time, right? So if you roll over a product, you can just hit duplicate and it will make a copy of that product. So here it is. It says, you know, it has all the information for the original product, and then it says copy, right? So I'll just type in Argentine cat bowl, right? I could, you know, change my text. Now, one important thing about WooCommerce here is it's actually this text right here is the one that comes up next to the product. The product, this text here shows up like down at the bottom of the page. So let me see. Let me write bottom. I think bottom of the page is what this is. I think this is right next to product. Oh crap. Okay, hold on. Up, bottom of the page. Okay, scroll down. This one down here is right next to the product. Okay, and then we got our price. We can just leave that in there. Now then what you want to do is upload your big image to the product image. So we're going to remove this product image. We're going to set the product image and select a file. And then we're going to find Argentine cat bowl, the big picture, and choose that. And then we're going to click set product image. Now here you can put in alt text, which will help with two things. It'll help with people who have screen readers, you know, people who are visually impaired. It will read the text to them, but also it helps with search engine optimization. These become keywords, right? You can also put in a description, which helps with search engine optimization, and even a caption if you want something under the image. So then you do set product image, you go up here and you publish the product, and then you can view the product right here. And notice that it made the thumbnail, okay? It made the small version, and that's what its job is. You uploaded the big version. Now watch, when we go here to the big version, see when we roll over this, now we get the blow up view of everything, and when we click on this, we get the big picture, right?
Nice.
Yeah. And then see what I said right next to product, that text at the bottom that you put in that little box at the bottom is what appears at the next to the product, and then the description appears down here. Now, if I were these people, if I were WordPress or WooCommerce, I would flip those around because it's counterintuitive that when you fill in text in the bottom of a box, it shows up at the top, and the text you put up at the top shows up at the bottom, right? But you know, these are the things that you learn after you make a system and people complain about it, and then you fix it in the next update, right? Okay, but this is looking good, Ariana. I like what you're doing here. So Trevor, you said you did what? Some little things? What is it? You said some minor aesthetic stuff. Where is your site located? Is it on my server, Trevor, or is it somewhere else? Let's see. Let me type in Trevor and see what I get. It's on mine. Okay. So this is it. Okay. Okay, so you've done things like add this kind of drippy blood background, and you've got placeholders here for like a carousel. Um, oh, this is cool. I like all your animations. You have some cool things going on. Uh, and then let's see, contact is a contact form. Oh, check out. Okay, we got to go to the shop. Okay, here's the shop. So let's see. For some reason, I can't click on these. I don't know what that is. Maybe you know. I'm sure you know. Let's see. I'm mostly just trying to get the pages more uniform and made the main menu centered. Okay, that's cool. So, oh, let's see. Okay, I guess I didn't quite understand what this was asking me. Is this something other than WooCommerce, Trevor? Or is it WooCommerce? It's probably just the theme that's making it do weird things. But like I'm not used to this little cart with a plus. It says it's WooCommerce. Okay, I'm not used to that. Maybe that's part of the theme, right? Um, so you click on this. I would think that when you click on that, it just adds it to your cart. But what it actually does is just takes you to the shirt, because you can see I've got nothing in my shopping cart there. So Trevor has nicely set up. This is a a website, a product that has variable. It's a variable product, so you have different choices. You can choose your size, add that to cart. He's also found out that you can put in sales. So what you do is you put in the sale price, and then you put in the original price in that box where you put the product, and it'll cross out the original price and do the sale price. And you can see also that he's putting in some bigger images too, which is good. So we'll click add to cart. This always comes up where you can view your cart. You can obviously change the quantity in your cart. He's got flat rate shipping configured, which is fine. This is where you would put in a coupon if you'd configured one, and then you can log out. So he's got cash on delivery, which is free to set up, and then PayPal. He probably has a working PayPal account, so we could put in a working PayPal email address, and then this would automatically just start working. The other option is Stripe, and it just comes, I believe, default with WooCommerce, and that's really easy to set up. I think you just set up a Stripe account, and it starts working. Okay, well, I think this looks really good, Trevor. You're well on your way. Let's see where this takes me to the shop. Right now, nowhere. Okay. All right. So it looks good. You're doing a good job. Now, Grady, you said yours. You worked on yours. Can you give me the URL in the chat box? All right, I got to remember this. Fadedmidnight.org software box. Okay, at some point by the end of the semester, I'll remember that URL. Okay. Ooh. Wow. That's looking good. Let me see if I can. I got the sunlight streaming in here. Let me see if I can kind of knock that down a little bit. It's really hard to. Oh, I think I know what I could do. Got this little curtain I could hang up, which will take out some of that sunlight. Okay, let's see. Slightly better, not really. Okay. What can I do? All right. All right, so Grady, this is looking good. I see you've got a glowing software box up there. Is this your new logo that you put up here? Audio and 3D have some content. Okay, cool. Yeah, I like your logo. You guys like the logo?
Kind of reminds me of what's that computer? An old computer one that
Next? Was it the next?
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Next computers.
Okay.
Just because
Uh,
of the rainbow and stuff, and it's a box shape and all that stuff. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so he says content in 3D and audio. So let's look 3D. So we got Blender. Okay, so that's the software. Cinema 4D. Okay, that one's not linked. Maya's not linked. Okay. Oh, no, it is linked. It just took a while. Okay. Those look really good. And then audio. We got Ableton Live, FL Studio, Audacity, and Adobe Audition. Okay, cool. Um, feel free to browse and click the cube at the top anytime to return home. All right, let's see. All right, very nice. Well, this is looking really good, Grady. I like all your, you got some good graphics in here, some nice colors. One just suggestion you might consider, it's always hard to read white on yellow. And even though, you like all of these being the same color, probably, you probably need to do some kind of a contrast adjustment to that. So you could either change this text to black, which would solve your problem, or choose a much darker shade of yellow so that really stands out. But then it'd be easy to read these. Okay, looks really nice. All right, does anyone else have some work they've done on a website that they want to share with us?
Mine is not quite prepared to show off yet, so
Okay.
I'll let you guys know in class or something.
Maybe next time? Okay. Anybody else?
I've set up a page with like an internal style sheet just to get an idea of how I could style the so it's how it works page for mine, where it was kind of a tiled layout, unlike the rest where it's the gallery. But that's I've got it saved as an HTML file in the shared folder.
Oh, so is it not something we can see on your website?
I mean, not on my website, but you could download the file and just open that with Firefox or something.
Is it in your your Google Drive?
Yeah. I
Oh,
uploaded
okay.
it today.
Okay. Let me see if I can do that. Let's see. So Drive. Okay. Inside this folder.
Yeah.
This one here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think you have to download it and open it in browser to really actually, preview it.
All right. Okay, so you coded this HTML, and this was your plan. This is your plan as how to set up your pages.
Yeah, so it does this kind of pretty automatically, for any length of a document, as long as it's organized into the same pattern I have here, which I think is like article, section, H2, and paragraph. Well, I think I want to change it to make it kind of simpler. But anyhow, it's using like nth child, so like every certain number of headings has this color of a background, and every certain one is to the side. Well, I should change that to nth of type. It's a different selector option, or pseudo selection, or whatever. So that would work a little better. But anyhow, also it kind of has some responsiveness to it, I guess you would say, as far as changing the size of the window. I changed how the scroll would work with the overflow of the text.
Oh yeah.
Once it gets too small. Yeah, but for that, for it to actually really be proper, I'd have to use like the media query or whatever. So like when it detects that the display is under a certain number of pixels, it'll change the styling of it. Yeah, but it was fun to learn. I guess some of the CSS options, and there's some new stuff I want to put in that I've looked at on the W3 Schools tutorial. Yeah, this is just a practice thing.
Yeah, it looks really good. I think you're doing a nice job, and looks like you have a good idea of HTML and CSS. One thing you might consider, I don't know if you want to give this a try sometime, but I wonder what it would look like if your background was like a gray color.
I started with gray. I didn't really like it. This one is just through it. I think it's just like dark cyan, just one of the easy named
Okay.
colors.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but it definitely needs a different background color.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
As far as implementing this in WordPress, if you build a website, I think, not using Elementor, you can, specify a class and, the elements. So for that, I'd be able to, give it, name these with a class, whatever I need, and then put this style sheet in additional CSS. And
Oh,
so I
right.
should be able to implement it in WordPress.
Yeah, that sounds great. Okay, good job. All right, cool. Well, let's see. Let's go back to the class website here, which is, don't tell me. I gotta move this. I gotta go here. Okay, dreamco.com. All right, web design, advanced. Okay. So a couple things about WooCommerce. So because you're doing sales, you might keep in mind some of the things that come into play when you're doing sales. Like, for example, there's the psychological component of ending prices in .99, right? Now, some people don't like to do that. They think, oh, just round it up to whatever the price is. But they've done studies, and they found that when you put a price of something as $4.99 as opposed to $5, people focus on the first number. Oh, it's for something, right? Instead of the fact that it's essentially $5. So one consideration that you might take into account is putting like a .99 price for all your items, right? Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about was you might make specific pages. Like, okay, let's say Ariana's site. Let's say that she's going to have a shop page that has everything on it, right? But then she also has to have individual pages for her cat bowls and cat leashes and or collars and stuff like that. You can make a brand new page in WordPress, and then you can put a little snippet of code on it that will bring in just one category, right? Which is why it's important to categorize your products when you make them, right? So let's go. Let me go back to Ariana's site. Okay. Okay, so if we go into Ariana's site and we go look at her products. Okay, so, and of course she's just starting to use this software, so, she hasn't categorized everything. I swear this little bar of people is the most annoying thing I've ever seen in my life. Okay. All right, but anyway, you can see her products here and you can see that they're uncategorized, right? So what you can do is you can go into here and you can create a new category. Put all this stuff down here. So you come in here and let's see, this was a bowl, right? So I'll click add new category and I'll call this bowl. And I'll hit enter, and I'll uncheck uncategorize. So now this is just categorized as a bowl, right? I'll go back to my products, and I'm gonna find the bowls and see if I can categorize them as just bowls. Now, another thing you can do. This is a quick way to update multiple items at the same time. Notice how she has this bowl, and this bowl, and this bowl. Okay, so there's 3 more bowls there. Now, notice my bowl is the only one who has a category, right? Now, what you can do is you can click on bulk actions and come down here and click edit, right? Now, when you hit apply, it's going to take all 3 of the things that you checked, and it's going to do whatever you do, it's going to apply it to all 3 of them, okay? So I'm going to hit apply. Now, what's going to happen is it's going to bring up all 3 of those, and it's going to say, okay, what do you want to change? It's going to change it on all 3, right? And what I want to change, let's see if it will let me change the category. Let's see. Oh, yeah, here, product categories, right? So I just changed them all to bowl, and then I hit update. And unfortunately, it did change them all. It added bold to all of them, but unfortunately, it didn't undo the uncategorize, right? Now, what I can do, another way to quickly edit things is you can roll over something and do quick edit, right? And notice over here, it shows me the two categories it's in. I can uncheck uncategorize and hit update, and that very quickly updates that one, right? I'll do the same thing to these other two, quick edit, uncheck that, update, and then I'll do the same thing again with this one, quick edit, uncheck, and update. Okay, so now I've got 4 items which are just bowls, right? Now, Ariana, I hope you don't mind me using your site as a demo. Is that okay?
Fine.
Okay. If I want to make a new page, I can go pages, add new. I can say, bowls, and I can publish that page, right? Now, there's a specific kind of code you can put on this that will bring up just the category of bowls, right? And you can find that out on the WooCommerce site. So I'll say WooCommerce code to show category. Here's one right here. Okay, how to display categories in WooCommerce. Okay, so then you go down here. Let's see. I'm looking for the, oh man, I just want the quick piece of code. It sucks when they give you like 30 pages for just let's see. That's not what I want. I show product categories on my web page. Short codes, here it is. So these are called short codes. And here we're actually in the WooCommerce documentation. And let's see. Cart, checkout, my account, products. Ooh, products. Available product attributes. Categories. Okay. There's so much information here, it's just ridiculous. Featured products, newest. Okay, here we go. Whew, finally. These 2 short codes will display your product categories on any page. So this product category, and then I think you type in like name equals or whatever. Let's see, product categories, number equals 0, parent equals 0. Let's see, okay. Let's see if I can figure this out. Okay, we'll type that, and I'll put in this. I'm gonna see if I can get this to work. Name equals bowl. If this doesn't work, then we'll try a couple other things. Okay, let's view the page. Okay, so it says bowls, and then it's showing the category of bowls. Okay, so actually this is just showing the whole categories. It's not really showing all the products. So that would be another shortcode that I want to use. So let's see, product category, how about just products? Products, okay, let's just try the word products. Try name equals bowl. View page. Okay, there you go. So it's really simple. You just, put in that piece of shortcode and you can show whatever you want on that page, right? Be it bowls or collars or whatever. Actually, even that didn't work. Look, it's still showing everything. That's jacked up. So, obviously I'd have to go in here. There's another way you could do it too, which is you could do it by product, by the ID. And so if I go into products, or actually product categories, let's see, bowl. If I roll over this, let's see. If you look down at the bottom of your screen, I got to move this thing here. If you roll over the category and you look down at the bottom of your screen, it says category equals 19. So if I go back to that page that I was on, let me see if I can get back there real quick. Okay, so what happened to my, okay, let's see, category equals, or no, it's ID, I'm sorry. ID equals 19. All right, let's see if we can get this to work. You know, once you start poking around WooCommerce's documentation, you can do all kinds of things. Oh man, it's still just jacked up as bringing in everything. Okay.
Maybe uncategorized go into everything.
What's that?
Maybe uncategorized products go into everything.
No, because I took these off. They're no longer uncategorized. Let me try something real quick. Let me go, because I already used this shortcut on another site. Let me see if I can bring it up real quick. Let's see, Sketchdoc. I want to see if there's, I made a page for posters. Yeah, here we go, posters. Okay, so let me log in here and see what the code was that I used. WP-admin. All right. It's just some little variation on what I just did. I just don't remember exactly what it is. Okay, so now we go to pages, we go to all pages. We find the page called products, or I'm sorry, posters, and it's going to have some shortcode on it, something really dead simple. There it is, products category equals posters. Okay, so we'll go back to here. We'll go edit page. Products category equals bowls. I'm not sure why that's pre-formatted. That's pretty weird. Let's see. Update. Oh, you know what? Did I call it bowl and I'm asking for bowls? I think that might be why it's happening. Yeah. I put an S on it, and so it's showing everything because it can't find the category called bowls, right? I think I just called it bowl, which once again demonstrates something to you, which is the importance of getting these categories right. Yeah, there you go. So that was the problem all along. All of those other things probably would have worked if I hadn't been putting the plural of bowl. So now it's just showing this one category. And like I said, WooCommerce has excellent support, online support. They've got training videos, they've got knowledge bases and tutorials, and you can do practically anything you want with your products, you know, from their website. Okay, let's see. Let me go back to here and see what else I want to talk. Oh well, I was just going to show the demo of this these sites that I'm working on here. These are, let's see, this is one of them here. So I have two sites that I'm working on right now. It's stuff that I'm selling, and I'm using WordPress, I'm using the Astra theme, and I'm using WooCommerce. So you know, like I said, you know, here's a page that just has one type of thing on it, which is posters, and of course, you know, it's defaulted to making the thumbnails this size, right? And if I don't like these, I could switch this. But you know, you click on it, you go to the detail page, and then you know, this of course is going to give you a really big view of it, as big as will fit in your browser. But if you zoom in like this, you can see details, right? So you know, on this one, you know, I put in a price, I put in my what you might call flavor text or descriptive text. And you try to put in as much information as you can, including, you know, what it is, what the size is, you know, any other hooks that will get it sold, right? Now then down here is where that other text would show up, that descriptive text, and I didn't even put anything in there yet because I'm just focused on this bottom text, which is what's going to show up. And then I have another category here, which is stickers. The same exact format, right? This is once again, if we go look at, edit this page, it's using that same short code to bring in that category. Okay, and then let's see, let's buy something here. So, okay, and I think if we just click on products alone, it brings up the whole website with everything in it. Let's buy this sticker here. I'll add that to the cart, view the cart, and this all just looks the same as everything that you've seen. You can remove things from the cart. You can apply a coupon here, and then proceed to checkout. I've got free shipping enabled, and then I've got PayPal enabled right here. Okay, so that's one. Now, one of the things we talked about here is I've talked about the fact that you can use coupons, but I've never shown you how to do coupons. So let's see. Let's go down here to WooCommerce and go down here to coupons. And you see how there was a big create your first coupon, right? So this is what I like about WooCommerce is they give you little tutorials, right? So create your first coupon. Okay, so it says hi there. Well, okay, coupon management has moved. Okay, thanks for that. Okay, so what you do is you just put in the coupon code. So I'll just call this, buy one get one free. So it's the BOGO code, right? Description, buy one get one free. Okay. Now, when you make your coupon, you can decide what type of coupon it's going to be. It can be a percentage discount, like 10% off. It can be a fixed cart discount, so you get a discount on the whole shopping cart, or a fixed product discount, right? So now this buy one get one free would be hard to do given these choices. So let me do a different one. Let me call this let me see, grand opening sale. Okay, we'll call it GOS, grand opening sale. We'll say grand opening sale, 20% off everything. Okay, so we'll just call this GOS because it's easy. Okay, so this is going to be a this is going to be a percentage discount, and what it's going to be is 20%. You can decide if you're going to allow free shipping, and you can check that box if you are, and you can say when the coupon's going to expire. So let's see, we'll just go, let's have the coupon expire tomorrow. Okay, so then you publish this. And then if we go to our shopping cart here, it's asking if I have a coupon. So notice my price is $3.99. If I type in GOS and apply coupon, then it calculated 20% of that. So it rounded that up to $4, 10% of which is 40 cents, and 20% of which is 80%, or 80 cents. So it removed that, and then this is the new price, and then proceed to checkout. So it's pretty snazzy. It works pretty well. Now you'll notice that that I tried. My first idea was buy one get one free, and that the default version of WooCommerce didn't come with that, right? The thing about WooCommerce is it's really great. It's a great, it's one of the best e-commerce plugins out there. However, the people who made it want to make money, right? So, and the way they make money is not on the free version. It's on the paid version. So let's see, what they want to do is they want to get you to upgrade to the paid version of that software. And the paid version of that software is a variety of plugins, including plugins that will let you do much more sophisticated coupons, right? So for example, if we go to WooCommerce, let's see, woocommerce.com. Okay, let's see, we can go, They call these extensions, which are things that you can add into your WooCommerce, and if and the amount of them is unbelievable. So if we go to see all payments, right? You can just look. There's 62 different plugins that you can buy to augment your WooCommerce store, including Amazon Pay, Stripe, Square. Look at all these. This is just the first page of the 62 of them, right? And they're not cheap. Let's go to Amazon Pay. Oh, that one's cheap. That one's free. Normally they're like $70 each or something like that. I don't know. Let me see if I can get to another page and put this over here. Maybe if I go, let's see. Okay, let's do authorize.net. That's not free. Yeah, here we go. This is a very average price for a plugin, like $80, right? And of course, you would only get that if you really needed it. Like if your client said, hey, have my clients use authorize.net to buy things online, then you would pay for this, right? But look at all the other things they have. So that's just payments, right? For marketing, let's see. So see right here, for marketing, they have plugins that will extend the ability of your coupons, right? So you have plugins that you can buy that will let you do things like that BOGO thing that I couldn't do. And so let's see, marketplace. Okay, let's go to marketing. Let's do see all marketing. And so once again, just an infinite amount. How many did they say was in this one? They didn't, I don't know where it is, 91. 91, so almost 100 different plugins for marketing, right? Let's see what else they have plugins for, because there's a lot. Marketplace, okay. Shipping, yeah, shipping is out of control as well. As you can imagine, they have everything from United States Post Office to UPS to FedEx. Once again, unfortunately, all of these are about 80 bucks a piece, and they are 60 of these, right? Now, the advantage of something like this, if you have a client who you're building an e-commerce store for, if you use something like FedEx or United States Postal Service shipping, the software itself will actually go out to the USPS website, and it will take the weight of whatever you're going to ship, and it will plug it into their website. It will calculate the exact cost of the shipping and bring it back and put it into their shopping cart. So that's one of the cool things about buying these is you're no longer doing a flat shipping rate. You're no longer doing free shipping. You're simply paying $80 a month or $8 a year, I'm sorry, for a plugin that goes out and gets you the exact shipping cost, and then everybody's happy. The client pays less. You don't screw up by just charging $5 flat rate for all shipping and then lose your shirt on big orders. So that's one of the other advantages to these plugins. So, and the list goes on and on. I mean, it's just insane. Subscriptions, there's all kinds of different subscriptions that you can get for your website, including having members only areas, and people can pay for digital magazine subscriptions and things like that. It just, the list goes on and on. So let's just look at this last one here. So multilingual press, if your website is in different languages, these are all just WooCommerce add-ins that will extend the functionality of your store, right? Amazon Web Services, things like that. So this is one of the reasons why, when you're looking for a solution for a problem online, there's a couple things you really want to focus on. One is, obviously, what is the reputation of the product, right? Is it good? And also, does it have support? Are there people who can answer your questions? And WooCommerce definitely fits that category. It's very good. It's one of the best. It's owned by WordPress, so you know they're going to support it. And then, of course, it has excellent support on their website. Now, the other question about something, if you want to use something, is what kind of community has developed around it? And in the case of WooCommerce, you have many, many years of people developing plugins for WooCommerce, which are fairly pricey, $80 per plugin. That means it's a robust environment that is going to be supported for a long time. So, it's a good scenario to get into because there's a lot of support, and almost anything you want to do, you can do. You just have to have the coin, to buy that little plugin, right? Okay, let's see, blah, 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 blah. Okay, there's one other website that I'm working on here. It's selling t-shirts. It looks pretty much like this one. In fact, I'm using the same Astra theme for this one, and in fact, I'm using a lot of the same artwork and stuff. But one thing that's cool about this, let me bring up the other site here. And let me go to the products page here. Okay, so notice that the default for WooCommerce is to give me these big thumbnails, these squares, which don't look very attractive, right? But look what I did on this site. I was able to go into the code, and I was able to basically say, give me 4 thumbnails on a row, and make them really big, because I think bigger is better and will help sell the product. So in this case, they're t-shirts, and if you can see the whole design here, then you're styling, right? Also, when you go to down to like the 1 column view, or in this case the phone view or whatever, you can see 2 little thumbnails, right? And of course, if you go visit any t-shirt sites at all, let's see, headlineshirts.com. And of course, these sites are super professional and have a lot of stuff going on. You're gonna see, okay, I don't know how to get past this stupid promotion. Get me out of here, please, please. Come on, headline shirts. Okay, go to men's. No, don't give me the coupon. T-shirts. Okay. All right, good. Yeah. So see what they did. They have their images very huge so that you can see what they are, and it helps the sales, right? There's some masks and other things. Here's RBG riding an eagle. That's pretty cute. And look at this one, Fauci. That's pretty funny. Okay. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. Those are the things I wanted to communicate to you guys today. Do you guys have any questions? Okay. I know that's a lot of information. I hope that, just by looking at this and interacting with some of what I was doing, you picked up a few things, a few possibilities of things you could do with WordPress and WooCommerce. So I'm going to let you guys go a little early today. So please continue to work on your websites. Ariana, thank you so much for letting me use your site. Would you like me to go in and take out those things that I added?
Oh, that's okay. I can do it while
Oh,
I'm
okay.
working on it, or I can leave them there if you want to use it in the future.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for using your site. And in the future, I'll try and use my websites here to demo things. But you guys are all doing really nice work. This stuff that I've seen. See if you can spend a little time on it, between now and next week, and so we can start to see your sites evolve. Put some products in there. Add some colors and some images, and change your themes, customize things a little bit, and see if you can get them looking more and more like quote real websites, because that's when that you've achieved the sort of finalized status on a website, is when it looks like this, when it looks like something that that you could actually go and purchase, right? And you can look at my site here. I still got a long way to go. You can look at the top. It doesn't look very professional. There's plenty I need to do on this site to make it look like those other sites. And one of the things you can do is find a model website. Find a website that looks the way you would like your site to look, and then keep referencing it keep making changes to your site until it's at least on the same level as that site, and then you know you're good to go. Okay, so are there any last questions or comments before we go? Okay, so thanks a bunch, you guys. Have a good weekend, and I will see you again on next Thursday. Okay?
Hi, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.